Tonight I have two formats for you. One is going to be a same game quad stack and the other one is going to be two MLB plays and then two soccer plays. So let's get into that right after I recap last night. And honestly, it didn't go bad at all. The stack on the Montreal Alouettes hit very easily. The main QB only got 62 passing yards. I do believe he got subbed off, but the wide receiver also did not even come close to that line. I said take these two players and then you could add on another two. What I personally did was a stack on Angel Reese on her over rebounds. There was heavy juice on her over, I believe like minus 130, minus 135-ish. Then I went for Jonquel Jones, who also had juice on her under near like minus 130. She even got bumped down to 9, but you could see it flipped. They were playing each other, Chicago versus New York. And it does make sense that these girls are going to be stealing rebounds from each other. So if Angel Reese is going over, it's more likely Jones is going under because they're going to be battling for those rebounds. Unfortunately, it did go in the opposite direction, but I didn't show these picks in the video. So if you grabbed any other two picks, hopefully you guys cashed there with the CFL stack. The second slip was pretty close. Unfortunately, Baltimore got no runs. So this stack here on Santander and Westberg did not hit. At one point, Santander did get a double, and Westberg had a perfect opportunity to potentially run him in, but that did not end up happening, so they stuck at 1-1 each. Suzuki and Happ did clear their lines. Honestly, it was the top of the order that was absolutely killing it in the Chicago Cubs game. They won 8-0 and Baltimore could not get anything. So overall, I hit this stack here. We missed this stack and I hit the CFL stack. So 4-2 day on the YouTube picks. Not bad at all, but it would have been nice to get this Baltimore stack. Just one more hit on each of these guys and it would have been a nice cash. But we're going to get onto the board for today. Let's start with my favorite stack in today's slate, and that's going to be Pedersen on his over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs, and stacking that up with Marte on his overruns. So pretty much exactly what I did with Happ and Suzuki last night, except this is even better because Pedersen's expected to bat third. Marte is right in front of him, expected to bat second. And we also have better juice than we had last night. We have minus 130 on Pedersen on the over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Then for Marte, we have less juice, but still juice towards the over nonetheless. We have minus 120 on the over here. And this is where I checked the lineups for MLB on RotoWire. You're going to see Arizona. We have Marte expected to bat second and Pedersen expected to bat third. Of course, Pedersen has a high likeness to run Marte in, especially if he's hitting the homer like right after Marte ends up walking or singling. That is exactly what you want to see. And it does happen very often in MLB. You want to take a runner and then the hits, runs, RBIs right behind him. So that is what we're going for tonight. And I always love taking Arizona. They're normally top 10 in at-bats, hits, runs, all these things. So they are pretty good offensively. And we have the juice in the favor for both of these guys. I'm absolutely loving it. Instead of turning this into a quad stack, I'm actually going to go over to soccer. And there's two very good plays that we flagged on the OddsJuice dashboard here. This first one's going to be on this guy, Coleman. And you don't have to know anything about soccer or even the league these guys are playing in. All you have to do is look at this number right here. 58.68% chance that he goes under 2.5 shots. And we get this number by devigging it across the sharpest sportsbook for soccer. I can even show you on Bet365, which is not what we used to devig. But just for example, if we go over to the shots and put in 2.5 for this guy, he's plus 120 on the over. And this is a one-sided market, but if it was two-sided, his under would be like minus 150 or minus 160-ish. That is a great play to throw into our entry. Extremely positive EV. We're going to go with his under 2.5 shots. Plays for Mazatlan versus San Luis. This is a late game, so everyone should be able to get this specific pick in. Hopefully there's no bumps, but I'll show you what you could do if there is bumps. I'll give you some replacement picks. The second pick we're going to go with is this guy Carlos here on his under half a shot on target. Again, minus 140 fair odds, or 58.33% chance that this man goes under that half a shot on target. That is another great pick, and these guys are not playing it within the same game, so there's absolutely zero correlation here. It's just straight positive EV. And again, if I show you on Bet365, his over half a shot on target is set at plus 150. So according to Bet365, this is technically the better play compared to that first soccer pick. But no matter what, they're both great picks. I mean, plus 150, you're looking at like minus 200 on the other side of the leg. This is an absolute beauty of a pick. I'm not even sure why it's still on the board. And the reason I'm giving you these soccer picks is because if I go over to MLB and try to give you one of those, they're pretty likely to get bumped. For soccer, I noticed they get bumped a little bit slower, and honestly, they're better than the MLB picks. So that's why I'm showing you guys these two picks. But if for some reason they both get removed off the board or they get bumped, what I do recommend is two replacement picks. Here we got Yanni on his under 4.5 pitcher strikeouts, minus 127 or 56% likeness that he goes under that mark. Then we also got Bradley on his under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 125, 55.5% likeness to go under that pitcher strikeouts once again. But to be honest, these guys might even be bumped by the time you guys see this video. These are very good picks to be throwing into entries, so I can't promise they'll still be there. Hopefully at least 2 out of these 5 picks are there. There's also Randy Vasquez on his over 2.5 earned runs allowed. This is a much worse pick than the other 4, but if everything happens to be bumped, well, then you have that as another option. So stock this first one in for a 10x, and now we're going to go back to the MLB and make another quad stack similar to what we did last night with the Cubs versus Orioles. Tonight we're going over to Seattle versus the Angels, and the first pick I'm going for is Raleigh on his under half a run. And I'm stacking this up with Polanco on his under 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. And you could probably guess that Raleigh is in front of Polanco, or at least expected to be batting in front of him, because that is the correlation you want to be going for. We have him expected to bat 5th. We got Polanco expecting to bat 7th. Normally, I'd like to take the batter right behind the guy, but Polanco's under is one of the best play on the Seattle team right now, so I don't mind that he's 2 batter positions behind. Of course, there's still correlation there. It's just not as strong if you have a 6 and a 5, but we're going to go with it either way because the juice is pretty promising. So on Raleigh, you're going to see minus 125 juice on his under half a run. Then Polanco has heavy juice towards the under, minus 135. Plus 100 on the over. This is a type of prop I would already put into a 6-man either way, but I might as well go and stack it up with someone on the same team, especially when there's juice on the under, and especially when they're pretty near each other in that batting order. Now for the Angels players, I'm going with a hits, runs, RBI stack. This one's going to be on Logan O'Hoppe on his under, and we're going to be stacking it up with Willie on his under 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. If we go over to DraftKings one last time and go to both of these players, you're going to see heavy juice on Logan at minus 130 towards the under, and heavy juice on Willie towards the under at minus 130. And in the batting order, they are expected to be right behind each other. We got Willie expected to bat 4th and Logan expected to bat 5th. That is great to see. You want these guys right next to each other in the lineups. So that is 2 full 4-mans for you guys. Very heavy juice tonight. I'm loving these.